Hey guys, this is Kayla with Becky's Graphic Design in Nashville, Tennessee, and today I'm going to show you several different methods and ways in which you can better have hyphenation settings that don't look ugly in your document and that you can take from document to document and continue using throughout your entire InDesign career. Alright, so let's have a look at my document. This is some regular body text. Currently, hyphenation is turned off, and because of that, we have some nice long breaks. Now, this wouldn't necessarily be too much of a problem if this was stretched out to the full width of the page. However, there are some design instances in which you may need a column. Shorter lines of text tend to break up like this and have lots of space in between the characters because this is justified text, meaning that the text is stretched all the way from one edge to the next edge. In order to accomplish this, InDesign is currently making these space characters bigger or smaller in order to push the text all the way out to the edges. As you can see, there is quite a bit of inconsistency with the width of these space characters. Some are tiny, some are big, which creates for a very uneven color of the text box total. It looks choppy. How do we fix this? Hyphenation is a big part of making a better paragraph color for the line weight of each line. So let's go ahead and copy this over and let's work on making this better. The first thing I'm going to do is to apply this body style, a secondary body style, to this text. When I click on body, things immediately start to look a little better. Why is that? Let's go in here and look at my settings. In this body style, I do indeed have hyphenation checked. This is the first part to making a better paragraph color. These are the hyphenation settings I have chosen. These are a bit different from the default ones. So I have entered here, I want words with at least 6 letters to be hyphenated. Before and after is 4 letters apiece. And then I have a hyphen limit of 2 hyphens. This means that I do not want any more than 2 hyphens to appear line by line, one after the other. The next thing that will help a little bit is your justification settings. These are the numbers I use quite frequently to help squish and stretch my text, my glyphs, just a little bit. It's almost imperceptible to most people, but it really makes a big difference. So enter these numbers in, and then each line will fill in the tracking a little bit in order to get the justification to look a little less choppy. So now that we have looked at that, this text is looking a little bit better, but we're now looking at the hyphenation for specific words. This word, line break, this word actually is a word that contains a hyphen in it. And lucky for me, it's breaking in the correct spot. But if we look at this text, pistachio almond, it is not breaking in the right spot. I want that hyphen to break at the hyphen, obviously. I don't want it to add a secondary one here in almond. How do we fix this? Let's go to our dictionary hyphenation settings. We are going to navigate now up to Edit, Spelling, and then go to User Dictionary. InDesign is already assuming the word that I want to change. The User Dictionary is something that sticks with my personal InDesign, and you can load other people's user dictionaries into here. You can make separate ones for particular documents, or if you use this setting, this is for universal every time you open InDesign. What we do in here is we tell InDesign where we want certain words to be broken in hyphenation. We do this by indicating the hyphen with a tilde. A single tilde is the primary location you would like it to be broken. If there was a second location that you would prefer, you could indicate this with a double tilde. When I first started doing this, I figured, oh, well, I'll just replace that hyphen with my tilde. But the word isn't pistachio almond, it's pistachio hyphen almond. And I want it to break after the hyphen, so make sure that it stays in there. Now when I click add, this word is going to go into my user dictionary. And when I click done, we come back and see that pistachio almond is now breaking at the proper location. And this will happen now every time that I type this word. Now, what happens if we have words like this? Side by side, top to bottom, words that have two hyphens in them. Just for the sake of example, I made up a fake word. Top, tomorrow, bottom. This is very complicated. I don't like all these hyphens. And I want to completely eliminate this from happening. So what I'm going to do is use a GREP style to prevent words with hyphens in them from hyphenating at all. So I'm going to go into my paragraph style and enable these GREP styles that I have created. I already had a style of no break in here in order to prevent orphans and widows from happening in my text. But I also have these two GREP styles written out. I'll zoom in so you can see those. Now these need to be applied also to the no break style. These could be applied to anything so long as that style is in by text. Give it a minute to think about this. It's doing something in the text below. I'm going to apply this one also to no break. When I do this, it is now applying a no break style to every instance of a word with a hyphen in the middle, and it is applying a no break style to every word with two hyphens in it. So when we back out and click OK, we should find that it is no longer allowing those words to break at all. Now this could be good or bad depending on what you're going for. If you look now, you see that it is forcing this whole two hyphen word to stay on one line, such as this one. This may not be good for you in some situations. Personally, for this project, I would not want this setting, but if you have any instances where you need this, here you are. So I'm going to go ahead and go back and turn that off. Now these words will be allowed to break again. There we go. Words with two hyphens are not possible to fix in the dictionary. As you can see here, this is me attempting to create hyphenation settings for top, tomorrow, bottom, but that does not seem to do the trick. So in that instance, you would need to add a manual break, or perhaps find a script, or use the GREP styles to force your double hyphen words to not hyphenate at all. But in general, this does work very well for any single hyphen words like blue-gray, mid-June, higher-ups. These all will work great because these only have a single hyphen in them. Let's go ahead and add blue-gray. Add a tilde there to tell it to break in the middle, blue-gray. Add that in. I'll add one for mid-June. Add that in. And now, whenever mid-June or blue-gray are forced to break, they will break only at that particular hyphen and not anywhere else in the word. One last thing we can do to make this look a little bit better is to create what's called an hanging indent. A hanging indent allows for hyphens and other punctuation to come slightly outside of the text frame, which allows for a cleaner line of text along the actual edge of the text box. To apply an optical margin, we will make sure that I have my story selected and then go up to Type, Story, and click this checkbox for optical margin alignment. Note when I click it that indent, or the hanging indentation I should say, comes outside of the text frame. And I can manually adjust this a little bit if I think it's too much or too little. Right about there looks good. Maybe a little more. Now, there's a slightly more consistent line of text lining the edge. This text box is much more pleasing to me than this text box. The weight of everything looks much more consistent here. So I would say that is a success. All right, everybody, I hope this helps. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next video. All right, bye-bye.